नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। सुत उवाच एवं निशम्य भगवान् देवशेर्जन्म कर्म च भूयः पप्रच तं ब्रह्मन् व्यासः सत्यवती सुतः।
Translation. Suta said, O Brahmanas, thus hearing all about Sri Narada's birth and activities, Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God and son of Satyavati, inquired as follows.
Text 2. Vyasa uvacha bhikshubhirvipravashite vignanadeshtribhistava vartamano vyasyatye tatah kim akarod bhavan.
Sri Vyasadeva said, what did you do after the departure of the great sages who had instructed you in scientific transcendental knowledge before the beginning of your present birth?
Text 3. Swayambhuva kaya vritya vartitam te param vayah katham chidam udashrakshihi kale prapte kalevaram.
O son of Brahma, how did you pass your life after initiation? And how did you attain this body, having quit your old one in due course?
Text 4. Prakalpa-vishayam etam smritim te munishattama nahyesha vyavadhat kala esha sarva niraktihi.
O great sage, time annihilates everything in due course. So how is it that this subject matter, which happened prior to this day of Brahma, is still fresh in your memory, undisturbed by time?
Text 5. Narad uvacha bhikshubhe vipravasite vignanadeshtrabhirmama vartamano vayasyadye tata etad akarasham.
Sri Narada said, the great sages who had imparted scientific knowledge of transcendence to me departed for other places, and I had to pass my life in this way.
Text 6. एकात्मजा मे जननी योषिन्मूढा च किङ्करी मय्यात्मजे नान्यगतो चक्रे स्नेहानुबन्धनम्.
I was the only son of my mother, who was not only a simple woman but a maid servant as well. Since I was her only offspring, she had no other alternative for protection. She bound me with the tie of affection.
Text 7. शाश्वततन्त्र न कल्पाश्चित् योगक्षेमं ममेच्छति ईशस्या हि वशे लोको योषा दारुमयी यथा.
She wanted to look after my maintenance properly, but because she was not independent, she was not able to do anything for me. The world is under the full control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, everyone is like a wooden doll in the hands of a puppet master.
Text 8. Aham cha tad brahma kule ushivamstadupekshaya digdesha kala yuppanno balakah pancha hayanaha.
When I was a mere child of 5 years, I lived in Brahmana school. I was dependent on my mother's affection and had no experience of different lands.
Text 9. Ekada nirgatam gehad duhantin nishikam pathi sarpodashatpad spristah kripannam kala choditah.
Once upon a time, my poor mother, when going out one night to milk a cow, was bitten on the leg by a serpent, influenced by supreme time.
Text 10. Tada tadaham ishasya bhaktanam shamabhikshataha anugraham manyamanaha pratishtham disham uttaram.
I took this as the special mercy of the Lord, who always desires benediction of his devotees, and so thinking, I started for the north.
Text 11. Svitan janapadam statra puragrama vrajakaran kheta kharvata vatischa vananya upavananicha.
After my departure, I passed through many flourishing metropolises, towns, villages, animal farms, mines, agricultural lands, valleys, flower gardens, nursery gardens, and natural forests.
Text 12. Chitradhatu vichitradrin ipabhagne bhujadruman jalashayan chiva jalan nalini sura sevitaha chitrasvane patrarathe vibramad brahmara shriyaha.
I passed through hills and mountains full of reservoirs of various minerals like gold, silver, copper, and through tracts of land with reservoirs of water filled with beautiful lotus flowers fit for the denizens of heaven, decorated with bewildered bees and singing birds.
Text 13. Nalavenu sharastanva kushakicakagavaram eka evati yatodham atraksham vipinam maha goram pratibhayakaram vyaluluka shivajiram.
I then passed alone through many forests of rushes, bamboo, reeds, sharp grass, weeds, caves, which were very difficult to go through alone. I visited deep, dark, and dangerously fearful forests, which were the play yards of snakes, owls, and jackals.
Text 14. Parishrantendriyatmaham tritaparito bubukshitah snatva pitva radinadya upasprito gatashramah.
Thus, traveling, I felt tired, both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry. So I took a bath in a river lake and also drank water. By contacting water, I got relief from my exhaustion.
Text 15. Tasmin nirmanuje ranye pipalopasta ashritah atmanatmanam atmastham yatha shrutam achintayam.
After that, under the shadow of a banyan tree in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the super soul situated within, using my intelligence as I had learned from liberated souls.
Text 16. ध्यायातश्चरणां भोजं भावनिर्जितचेतसा ओकन्त्राश्रुकलाक्षया हृदयासिन्मेषनिर्हरिः.
As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart.
Text 17. Premate bhara nirbhinna pulakangoti nivritah anande samplave lino napashyam ubhayam mune.
O Vyasadeva, at that time, being exceedingly overpowered by feelings of happiness, every part of my body became separately enlivened. Being absorbed in an ocean of ecstasy, I could not see both myself and the Lord.
Text 18. Rupam bhagavato yat panah manah kantam shuchapaham apashyam sahos sotashte vaiklavayad durmana iva.
The transcendental form of the Lord as it is satisfies the mind's desire and at once erases all mental incongruities. Upon losing that form, I suddenly got up, being perturbed as is usual when one loses that which is desirable.
Text 19. Didrikshustadaham bhuyah प्रणिधाय मनोरधि वीक्षमाणोऽपि नापश्यम् अवितृप्त इवातुरः.
I desired to see again that transcendental form of the Lord, but despite my attempts to concentrate upon the heart with eagerness to view the form again, I could not see him anymore, and thus dissatisfied, I was very much aggrieved.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Sumadhura Radhika Mataji, very nicely reciting.
Thank you. Please forgive any mistakes.
Everything was perfect. And Ima Mataji also very nicely reading the
Thank
song.
you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Inspirational. So I will share the screen once again and we'll discuss the verse for the day. So today we will discuss verse number 11, Canto 1, Chapter 6, entitled Conversation Between Narada and Vyasadeva, and we discuss text 11. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Mute of your devotees. Spitanjana padam satra pura grama vrajakaram keta kharvata vatischa vananya pavanani cha. Spitanjana padam satra pura grama vrajakaram keta kharvata vatischa vanani pavanani cha. Synonyms: Spitan, very flourishing. Janapadan, metropolises. Tatra, there. Pura, towns. Grama, villages. Raja, big farms. Akaran, mineral fields, mines. Khet, agricultural lands. Kharavata, valleys. Vati, flower gardens. Cha, and Vanani, forests. Upavanani, nursery gardens. Cha, and. Translation: after my departure, I passed through many flourishing metropolises, towns, villages, animal farms, mines, agricultural lands, valleys, flower gardens, nursery gardens, and natural forests. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Man's activities in agriculture, mining, farming, industries, gardening, etc., were all on the same scale as they are now. Even previous to the present creation, and the same activities will remain as they are even in the next creation. After many hundreds of millions of years, one creation is started by the law of nature, and the history of the universe repeats itself practically in the same way. The mundane wranglers waste time with archaeological excavations without searching into the vital necessities of life. After getting an impetus in spiritual life, Sri Narada Muni, even though a mere child, did not waste time for a single moment with economic development, although he passed towns and villages, mines and industries. He continually went on to progressive spiritual emancipation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the repetition of history which happened some hundreds of millions of years ago. As it is said herein, only the most important factors of history are picked up to be recorded in this transcendental literature. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Advaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanutam Se He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patita Nama Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatadesha Tarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhaite Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for being here. Saturday evening, 3rd September. We are discussing the 6th chapter. The discussion continues between Narada Muni and Vyasadeva. And Srila Vyasadeva was inquisitive to know what happened after Narada Muni received the instructions from the Bhaktivedanta. And Srila Narada Muni explains early on what happens in his lifetime. The previous was discussed yesterday, and how he took the death of his mother, who was the only guardian heaven for the little boy, 5-year-old Narada Muni. Bhaktivedanta has already left that place, And the only person he was receiving some affection was his mother, and who was bitten by a snake when she went to milk a cow. So Narad Muni straight away heads for the north. So this question is, why north? Why not east? Why not south? West? Why north? So this is the tradition in the Vedic culture as to all the great souls would leave for the north, because the north is Himalayas, beautiful, there are lots of caves there, and the atmosphere there is full of tapasya, spiritually charged. So it becomes easier, because other thing is also there is no distraction. The distraction is the problem. So today, and it's often said that is with all these weapons of mass distraction more than destruction, which is causing trouble for individuals. Yes, there's also mass destruction weapons there, but the mass distraction weapons is killing the soul every day with all this digital 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G, satellite phones, and you can now talk on the phone, even in an airplane or wherever you are, you can be just connected to the world. So lots of information, but there is no transformation. So Srimad Bhagavatam is all about transformation of the heart, transformation of the lives of Kali Yuga people like us. We'll discuss that in a bit. So Srila Narada Muni about the verse, after my departure, I passed through many flourishing metropolises. So Spitan Janapadams, very flourishing Janapadams. Yeah. So this is the previous day of Brahma. So in the next day of Brahma, after all the souls get into the body of Mahavishnu, then the new creation starts, new kalpa starts. Srila Narada Muni gets a new life, which is he is at the moment, and is fully spiritual, that he's able to travel anywhere and at any time, no obstruction for him. So that's the one of our in the lineage of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya. So he's from Krishna knowledge comes to Lord Brahma, from Brahma knowledge comes to Narada Muni, and from Narada comes to Vyasadeva. As we are seeing this exchange between Srila Narada Muni and Vyasadeva. So he's number 3 in the lineage, starting from Krishna. And in the previous kalpa, so we're discussing this is happening in the previous kalpa, means millions or trillions of days have passed, years have passed. What was happening in the previous kalpa is they were Spitan, Janapadam, they were very flourishing metropolises, which are we can see today as well. And somehow we are very proud, at least the materialists are very proud that we're making so much progress. So in the early 1900s, majority of the population was dependent on agriculture. Today, people have moved to the cities. So much has been advertised, like city life, how the city life is good. People have moved by the Kali Yuga minded people from their villages where they had nice homes. Now they go to the cities. You see that in London or in Mumbai or many other cities in the world. What was a nice life in the village, then it turns into a nice place to live, fresh air, fresh food, cows, good milk there, fresh vegetables, and a lot of time in hand. And people travel to the city to get a better life, so-called. And what happens is they don't get a nice place to stay. We don't get nice water to drink. Water is polluted. The air is heavily polluted. You have to go to London, then you know what it means. The air is so polluted. It's literally just the whole body gets into dust. If you go walk from, maybe you walk half a mile. It's so horrible out there. So this is the advancement of flourishing metropolises. Was always there. Yeah, there were towns. So the big cities, the small towns, and the villages, grama. So villages, the progress in today's life means the villages, as I was saying before, the villages turn into towns, town turn into the cities. So I know my own village, which was only a few hundred families, maybe less than 100 families, maybe. And today, when we go there, there's the road there. There is nice, lights everywhere. Still remember, it used to be. We used to get about an hour in a day light, and there's all the lights there. And what used to happen in the past, though, was people had so much time. It used to be Krishna Katha, Ramayana, bhajans happening every single evening. Practically, the whole village would get together. Because there's so many festivals coming in a year, they would perform some pastimes and they would just chant some bhajans and sing and all the drama. That's what used to happen. But now none of those things happen, because the villages are looking to become cities. They want to do what the city people do. And the city is obviously driven by the Western civilization, if there's any civilization. Prabhupada never accepted there's any civilization in the West. He said, what is the civilization? We call this civilization, you drink mother's milk and you kill the mother and eat also. You drink cow's milk and then you kill the cow, and that's your civilization. That's why Prabhupada is Paschatya Deshatarani. It's not just the Paschatya Desh. Paschatya means Western countries, the Western mentality. So it could be anywhere. Is the Western ideas of progress, ideas of GDP growth, consume, and consume. The more you consume, the country is richer, and country makes progress. Developed nation, underdeveloped nation, third world nations. This is how they have created the coins for different. There was no mention of happiness. Surprisingly, it's the third world nations which are more happier people. They are more happier as compared to the so-called developed nation, what they call. So this is happening in the past. There is big farms. So not only there are cities, at the same time farms, which we can even see today. Some areas still at the farm. There's minerals, mines as well. There's still mines at the moment. Kheta, agricultural lands, everyone needs to eat. In the end, wherever we live in the city, in the village, in the town, on the 108th floor, or maybe on the ground, maybe on the corner, wherever we still need to eat, body needs the food. So there's still agricultural lands. And there's beautiful valleys which are created by the Lord himself, all the beautiful places. Flower-vatiki means man-created gardens, nicely arranged, organized way. The flower plants are put, like Ashoka Vati and Vati flower gardens. Vanani is inorganic growth of the trees, untouched. They're still there. So all the variety that we are seeing here, so that's all in the previous kalpa and the current kalpa. So man's activities in agriculture, mining, farming, industrial gardening, on the same scale as they are now. So where is the real progress? In millions and trillions of years also, we are exactly seeing the same situation. And Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi is not understood by people, but eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's what is the primary goal. Yeah. And then we suffer the three types of miseries. Carries on. That was happening before. Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Atmik. The miseries caused by the mind and body. Miseries caused by the other living entities. Miseries caused by the devas. Demigods are still happening. and they were still happening before. So all the matter was before and even now. So this is so clear in Bhagavad Gita itself. Bhumirapo nalo vayu kham mano buddhi revacha ahankar bhinna prakritir ashtada. So all the 8 elements, 5 gross and 3 subtle elements, that's what it is everywhere. It's the transformation, conversion of one to the other. And aparayam itastvanyam, apart from this paraprakriti, there is also aparaprakriti. And jiva bhuta mahamaho yayedam dharyate veda. So this aparaprakriti of mine is actually exploiting the material elements, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter. So that's what was happening before, that's what is happening now. And there is progress, definition of progress is still the same. After many hundreds of millions of years, one creation started by the law of nature, and the history of the universe repeats itself practically in the same way. So Bhagavatam, and this is, it's coming later, it's the same way it's happening. The mundane wranglers, these amazing words, waste time with archaeological excavation. There's so much of this as archaeological excavations. Oh, look at this, we found some fossils here, we dig this here, we found this, we found that. And we found some human graves in that corner of the world, found some more graves there, more graves here. We found some more skeletons of this animal, that animal. Yeah, they just waste so much time, and people waste so much time reading all that news. Like every day is the same, similar news, same news practically. Oh, we found something even older than what we found last time. Yeah, so there was an idea of man is only 10,000-year-old creation. The monkeys become the human. That idea is already being, I think, not accepted by some part of the science already, because it doesn't really tie up together. You can't explain it properly in so many reasons. So, but mundane wranglers means just keep on arguing without any end, without any really purpose of establishing the truth. People are just wasting archaeological. There's so much money being spent in that archaeological excavation. Srimad Bhagavatam is already explaining everything. What's happened in the past, what's happening in the future. Whatever happening today will again repeat again in the future. There's all the 4 yugas, the Sat Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, been repeating every time in the life of man. There are 71 and some odd times, and the 14 manos in the day of Brahma, and this just keeps going. After getting the impetus in spiritual life, now this is the difference here. For someone who gets an impetus in the spiritual life, Narada Muni, even though mere child, did not waste time for a single moment with economic development. So whole of this, so someone who understands the purpose of human life. Yeah, what is the purpose of human life? Jivara Swarupa Hoyat, Krishnara Nityadas. So what is Swarup? So once Narada Muni was, was enlightened by the Bhaktivedantas, he was after getting his own Swarup, and that's Narada Muni's Swarup, that he carries spiritual body, and that spiritual body travels everywhere. So that spiritual body is possible for everyone, and just when we recognize we're not this body, and we stop, or at least minimize. So Bhagavatam explains, apart from that we read in the 2nd chapter, I think, 1st canto. So only as much as effort should be put, that's required for the self-preservation of the body. A healthy body, that all that we need. And what do we need for a healthy body? It's just the discipline. Yukta har viharasya, yukta karmasya yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta swapnava bodhasya, yoga bhavati dukkha. So just the appropriately, ahar, vihar, just the not over-endeavoring, just the appropriate food on a time, regulated diet. Prabhupada says the good health is just regulated diet, regulated eating, sleeping. That's all. You don't need to do a lot to keep a healthy body. Just eat right, think right, 99% of the diseases are because of the psychosomatic, psychologically triggered. In today's world of city life, on which all the pharmaceutical companies flourish. So that's the economic development. But Narad Muni, realizing there is no purpose of human life being served in just the economic development. So dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the four purushartha. Dharma, perform some charity, and then, but why do we do that? So that we can have more artha, more economic development. Why do we need more economic development? So that we can fulfill more desires, kama. And if we are all after frustrated with never getting satisfied with the fulfilling the desires, never able to fulfill the desires anyway, then the human starts to look for liberation. Some of them, where there is some intelligence, somehow. My Guru Krishna Prasad Bhakti Lata Vedi is the highest. The Prema Pumartho, the fifth Purushartha Mahaprabhu is given, is the highest. If some devotees get that, that's fortunate. That's Narad Muni who got that from the Bhakti Vedantas, the purpose of human life. So what happens then is, if someone is convinced, we are convinced that economic development is not all in all, but human life is meant for something more than that, then whether it is a town or a village or a mine or industry or beautiful gardens or this, that, the soul continues its search for the spiritual emancipation, as Prabhupada said. He continually went on to progressive spiritual emancipation. And that's why Vyasayatmika Buddhi, Ekeha Kurunandana. They are resolute in nature. So those who are resolute on this path, their thinking is one, they're one focused. This focus is one. And someone who is like Bhushaka, Hantaksha, so someone is like Bhushaka, multifaceted, I can do this and I can do that also, I can just balance a little bit of this, little bit of that. We should just keep enjoying. Life is some people have this slogan of you only live once, and just do it. Just enjoy the life. You only live once. It's such a nonsense, foolish thing to say. But yeah, for a devotee, the purpose is different. He continually went on to progressive spiritual emancipation. That's our purpose, that we have come into contact by the grace of Srila Prabhupada into the movements. We are able to read all the beautiful purpose. Prabhupada is like, if you just read the translation, it's difficult to say what's the inner meaning. This is Prabhupada's beauty of Prabhupada's purport. Prabhupada says that Srimad Bhagavatam is the repetition of history which happened some hundreds of millions of years ago. But what is that? History, Srimad Bhagavatam is not about the history of what happened, like chronologically, what we read in the history, 1857 this happened, and 1877 that happened, and this 1920 that happened, and this happened, and that happened. That is not the purpose, because for Bhagavatam, it goes from one manvantara to other manvantara, depending. It's more about the realization of the purpose of human life, rather than trying to understand the history, because the history repeats anyway, in the bigger way, in the smaller way. History, what was the town before is now become a city, what was the village before it become a town. So these things still keep going all the time, until the time this 12th canto will explain, when there is no food to eat for human, and they start to eat each other. That's the future of this so-called scientific progress. So one reporter challenges Prabhupada, Prabhupada, so Swamiji, you say Krishna, he this and that, you're spending all your life chanting Krishna, Krishna, and they're putting so much dependence. And what will happen after death if you realize that there is no Krishna, there is no God? So Prabhupada very intelligently, always, as usual, answers beautifully. Says, okay, so just theoretically accepting your proposal, there is no God. So what we have done is, Yeah, we have all that we've been doing is chanting, feasting, and dancing. So we chant Krishna's name, we have some nice music, and then we dance. We dance on that music. And feasting, we have nice prasad, very nice prasad to eat, varieties of milk products. And you can see everyone, all the devotees, all these boys and girls seem to be very happy. Their faces are bright. So they're happy. So we're not at a loss anyway. Then Prabhupada turns the question to the reporter and says, okay, now you tell me, if after death there is Krishna, what will be your situation? We will be happy. We'll be happy here and we'll be happy after. What will be your situation, that what you are indulging into? All the meat eating, killing innocent animals, performing sinful activities. If there is Krishna, there's also going to be hellish planets, all those frying in the oil, all that. What do you think your situation will be? Who's better off? The reporter had nothing more to ask and say after that. So this is the truth. So we, as Prabhupada has given this formula, just chanting, feasting, and dancing. So it is said here, only the most important facts of history are picked up to be recorded in this transcendental literature as part of the question and answer that happens between various disciples. Spiritual Master Vidura will come later on with Maitreya, and there is Sutta Goswami and Shaunaka exchanging, and Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadev. Then this goes on multiple ways, Narada Muni and Brahmaji. So the only conversation is about how great is our Lord. Everyone understand, maybe a little bit we understand. Prabhupada used to say, you understand Krishna is great, but we don't understand how great is Krishna. So this economic development, all that will always happening, and they will continue to happen. And there will be people continue to be in the same mode, yeah, they were ever before. Yeah? And Kali Yuga is where we are. So where we are, the house is on the fire. We don't try to ask why there's a fire. We try to run away. We know the house is on the fire for all of us. Praya and Alpa Yusha Sabhya. They first came to the Shaunaka Rishi and the sages, putting questions before they put the questions to Sutta Goswami. They clarifying Praya and Alpa Yusha Sabhya. Kala Asmin Yuge Jana Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhakya Hipadita. So the people in this age, because of the nature of this yuga, there's always quarrelsome. Yeah, that's why they're always less intelligent, because the less intelligence, particularly in reference, is contextual in terms of what they think the purpose of life is. So Manda Matayo, they're all misdirected. Manda Bhagya is unfortunate because we can't even breathe clean air, we can't even drink clean water. A very unfortunate situation. But still try to go to astrologer sometimes to find out, is there any good luck for me? Bhagavatam says there is no good luck. It's Manda Bhagya. Upadrita, overall always disturbed. And the Varnashram process system is falling apart. There is no process of student brahmacharis. Grihastha ashram is also getting on the verge of destruction, and Vanaprastha obviously is non-existent. Sannyasis. So whatever we find in some, thanks to Srila Prabhupada, and there are so many other spiritual organizations which are still maintaining it, but with the progress of Kali Yuga, all these things will get minimum, and then all that will happen. It's just a passion and ignorance predominated world. This passion creates more faster train. There was a news from Canada is doing even faster train. A train, or like a plane, a small capsule running around, and there'll be planes going here, there, fast and fast and fast. So faster phone, but still it's not as fast as it would like to be. Still slower than the mind. The yogis with the mind could go anywhere, travel any distance. What they, so still don't feel the satisfaction. So it's still a struggle. So mana shastani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. The living entities are struggling with the senses, six senses including the mind. Yeah, that's the problem. And the demonic people don't want to accept it. They just continue to do what they want to do. Ishvaro aham bhogi Siddhoham Balavan Sukhi. Yeah, how does the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains how does a demonic person thinks, oh, I have got so much wealth I have earned, and then I have created more plans, and I've so much I will have now, so much I'll have later. This investment, that investment, here's what I'm doing there. I'm doing this and that, yeah, and then whoever comes on my way, is my enemy. I want to kill him. I killed many others, yeah, and this way, yeah, I will keep enjoying, yeah, and then the verses later on says, and I will perform some charity as well, yeah. So I will enjoy. I will have all the people around me, worshiping me as if I'm the God. And then I'll perform some charity also. So Krishna bhuliya jiva bhoga vancha kare, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Pasade maya tare jhapatiya dhare. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhoga vancha kare. The living entities forget his relationship with Krishna, his own constitutional nature, and jiva bhoga vancha kare. He's just trying to enjoy bhogeshwar. So the two verses in Bhagavad Gita. Yasayatmika buddhi eke hai pranandana. That was a resolute mind. And there's also bhogeshwar prasaktana taya prahata chetasam. Who's one who is fully focused on the enjoyment. Bhogeshwara prasakta asakta, asakti, the whole mind is attached to the bhoga. Bhogeshwar prasaktana taya prahata chetasam. Yasayatmika buddhi samadhona vidhiyate. So they can't perform any tapasya, any focus, concentration, and that's how the living entities are less intelligent, because they can't focus on the real purpose of life, and they want to enjoy. And what happens is Maya tare jhapatiya dhare, Prabhu says. Yeah, the living entity tries to enjoy, but what happens in the end is everyone just gets the frustration out of this attempt to enjoy. This is because this by design. It's that by design is the material creation is just a place of misery. Dukhalayam ashwasatam. Dukhalayam ashwasatam. So the place of misery is temporary at the same time. So whatever someone gains anyway becomes a loss in the end, because you can't take anything. The next life, someone starts with zero again. All the effort, all the money, all the bank account, everything goes to zero, and someone starts once again. But if there's any spiritual bank account, balance never, diminishes. It just carries on. That carries on. So Bhagavatam is beyond, dharma projita kaitava. So kaitava is all this cheating religion, cheating principle. This is all cheating religion of make more material progress. There'll be more and more, consume more, have more facility, and enjoy more. This all becomes in the end cheating propensity. Bhagavatam is rejecting all this cheating propensity, and it's giving us something higher, very higher, and which satisfies. Yatma suprasidati. So savai vamsa paro dharma, savai pumsam paro dharma yato bhakti radharsaje. Ahayatuki apatihata yayatma suprasidati. Savai pumsam paro dharma. So certainly the best thing, the first answer to the questions of the sages of the Naimisharanya was that so what is the highest religion is paro dharmo yato bhakti adhoksaje. He is the bhakti of the Supreme Lord, by which yatma suprasidati, so by which the soul gets satisfaction, because all this material gain and the attempt to satisfy materially senses, there is no enjoyment. Even performing the dharmas manusita pumsan vishwaksena kathasu no na utpad yadi ratim shama eva hi kevalam. If all the effort that we're putting, and if it is not creating any interest, or all the dharma that we are, all the dharmic activities we're performing, occupational activities we're living in, trying to sanusthita pumsam, So we're trying to perfect our material life, perfect our duty as a human. But if there is no discussion of the Vishwaksena, of the discussion of the spiritual personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, na utpadi devatim. If it does not create that interest, Shrama eva hi kevalam. It's just the hard labor. Hard labor. That's what it is. Apavarga, pavarga, pa, pa, ba, bha, ma. That parishram, bhaya, all this trouble, and finally ending with mrityu. Fame is like foaming from the people are putting so much labor, just like a it's like a bad oxen. If they're just foaming, the horses also, there's foam coming out of the donkeys. Now the foam coming out because of the hard work that they do, but it becomes just a hard work without the development of interest in hearing the passion of the Lord. It is just a futile effort. Prabhupada says, all futile. Therefore, we should just Bhagavatam gives us this. Bhagavatam is not giving us the history. The point that Prabhupada is making this purport is mainly this. Bhagavatam is giving this something higher than just the dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Something higher, which is pleasing to the heart, satisfying the heart, because even the moksha does not satisfy the heart, because it does not still bring a soul to its original position. Tasmad ekena manasa. Therefore, one single focus, one mind. Vyasayatmika buddhi. Like how Dhruva perfected his life, how Narada Muni will perfect his life by single focus. Tasmad ekena manasa. Single focus, mind. Bhagavan Satvatambati. So we just worship the Supreme Lord. Because only the Supreme Lord is, Shotavya Kititavya. He's only the worth of hearing or glorifying or remembering. He's the only one who's worth meditating upon. He's only the worth worshipping. So we are all putting faith somewhere. Like Prabhupada used to say, someone is putting the faith in the scientist and someone is putting the faith in the scriptures. So we are seeing the result of someone putting the faith in the science. What is happening today? There is still hunger, there is still frustration, there is still the crime rate is only going up and up. It's not giving any joy, but they're putting the faith. As Prabhupada had another discussion with the reporter. Prabhupada said, putting faith in scriptures is what is our father. We are speaking on the basis of the Shastras, which are always aparasha, which are beyond the human access. Aparasha means is coming from the Lord Himself. That's why we are so confident that knowledge that we are receiving is the perfect knowledge. And we are experiencing also that to the extent we follow the scriptural guidance, to that extent we find the satisfaction does come in life. So this is the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam, and also like to teach us. The purpose is not about the material development, satisfying the senses, because you can never satisfy them. Even if you satisfy to some extent, there's still death waiting everyone, and the cycle will start again. That is not the purpose. The purpose is to taste the highest, the highest satisfaction, the highest prema, which everyone is looking for, happiness, and that is Krishna. And everyone is looking for. They don't know who they're looking for. George Harrison writes in the Krishna book. Everyone's looking for Krishna, but they don't know they are. So that's and then we have the Rath Yatra coming tomorrow, most glorious, and also the Radha Ashtami. And on the previous eve, that's today, we're going to have a nice bhajan on Srimati Radhika. So I have to ask which bhajan we're thinking, Mataji. And then I think Jyoti Mataji is going to share the screen.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes, I've got it ready.
Yes, Mataji, please.
So I'm going to keep it on mute and Mataji will sing. Shailaja Mataji is going to sing the bhajan.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams to all the devotees. So this is called.
Sorry, Mataji, just give me 1 second, please. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
So this bhajan is called Radhika Ashtaka. So the 8 stanzas that glorifies Srimati Radharani. So this is basically composed by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and from the book Govinda Lilamrita. So this basically glorifies how unique and special is Srimati Radharani, that anything compared to her golden complexion and her beauty, her charm and her youthful and all the qualities, and her love towards Krishna and everybody, everything in the entire spiritual and the material universe puts that into shame if compared with Radharani. So it can be the golden lotus flower, it can be the moon, it can be sandalwood paste, it can be saffron, it can be anything. So there is no comparison, even if you put millions of moons to the coolness and the charm of Srimati Radharani, and she possesses very unique qualities, the 64 qualities to serve the Lord, and her 8 special qualities that she exhibits when she meets Krishna is also very unique, that nobody else can possess. But the person and she's very very difficult for even Parvati, Saraswati, or even wife of Indra, and even for Lakshmi herself, who is very opulent. So it's very difficult for them as well to reach and to get the service of Radharani. But the one who reads this Ashtaka with love, so the Radharani blesses that person and bestows her with her own service, with her own lotus feet. So that's what it says. So maybe we can share the link in the group if devotees are interested. Can also go through the translation. It's a bit too long, so we are just going to sing for now. Jai Srimati Radharani ki Jai. कुङ्कुमाक्त कञ्चनाब्ज गर्वहारि गौरभा पीतनञ्चिताब्ज गन्धकीर्तिनिन्दि सौरभा बल्लवेश सूनु सर्ववाञ्छितार्थ साधिका माह्यामात्मा पादपद्मादास्यादास्तु राधिका कौरवीन्द कान्तिनिन्दि चित्रपट्ट छातिका कृष्णमत्त भृङ्गकेळि पुल्ल पुष्पवाटिका कृष्ण नित्य संगमार्थ पद्मबन्धुराधिका माह्यामात्मा पादपद्मादास्यादास्तु राधिका सौकुमार्य सृष्टपल्लवालि कीर्ति निग्रह चन्द्रचन्दनोत्पलेन्दु सेव्य शीत विग्रह स्वाभिमर्श बल्लवीश कामतापबाधिका माह्यामात्मा पादपद्मादास्यादास्तु राधिका विश्ववन्द्य यौवताभिवन्दिता पिया रमा रूपनव्य यौवनादि सम्पदा नयत्समा शीलहार्दलीलया च सायतोस्तिका माह्यामात्मा पादपद्मादास्यादास्तु राधिका रासलास्य गीतनर्म सत्कलापि पण्डिता प्रेम रम्य रूपवेश सद्गुणालि मण्डिता विश्वनव्य गोपयोषि दालितोऽपि याधिका माह्यामात्मा पादपद्मादास्यादास्तु राधिका नित्य नव्य रूप केलि कृष्ण भाव संपदा कृष्ण राग बंध गोपयवतेषु कंपदा Krishna Rupa Vesha Keli Lagna Satsamadhika Mahyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dasturadhika Sveda Kampa Kantakashu Gadgadali Sanchita Marshaharshavamataadi Bhava Bhushananchita Krishna Netra Toshiratna Mandanali Dadhika Mahyamatma Dasya Daspad Mahyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dasturadhika Yakshanarda Krishna Viprayoga Santatodita Nekadainya Chapaladi Bhava Vrindamodita Yatna Labdha Krishna Sanga Nirgata Khiladika Mahyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dastu Radhika Hari Bol.
Very nice, very nice.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I wish there was lyrics also there. I think we could have read alongside. Thank you so much. That was very-
Haribol, beautiful, beautifully sung, Mataji. Thank you very
Well done,
much.
Shailaja. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes. And thank you, Prabhuji, for organizing the bhajan. Thank you.
Thank you for keep organizing, all of you. Wonderful, beautiful singing. Okay, that's 10 to. Any questions, discussions? We just prepare for tomorrow's beautiful day, most auspicious Radha Ashtami and Rath Yatra and Rath Yatra on the same day. So wish you all the best.
Are you joining us tomorrow, Prabhuji, in London?
Absolutely, Mataji.
Haribol, we'll see you then. I wonder how many devotees in
you.
our group are going to join us tomorrow.
Oh, that'll be great. Everyone should be there. So nice. The best day of the year.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for the pleasure of all the devotees and pleasure of Radharani. Hope she blesses all of us with her divine service tomorrow, to all of us and our families and everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. That was so nice. You explained the meaning of this, the bhajan, and then you sang so nicely. It was very nice, very deep.
Prabhuji, I think this is the first time we've had Radharani's appearance day as the same day as the Ratha Yatra. First time, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't remember in 20 years I've been attending. Never.
Yes.
One time we had the Nirjal Ekadashi and the Rath Yatra on the same day. That was interesting.
Hmm.
But this is the second time it is coming.
Yeah, so
No,
it's
but this, I think this time, because the Rath Yatra has been delayed, we didn't get
Delayed.
a chance in June. Normally, the Rath
Yes,
Yatra is.
that's
Prabhuji.
right. Yes.
That's where it falls with the, Nirjala Ekadashi.
Yes,
So
that's right.
yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's
Hare
September
Krishna.
the first time. Yes. Thank
Yeah,
you.
September 1st. Hare Krishna.
Hari. Thank you so much, devotees.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpa.
Vansha
Kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Kripa
sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
की जय हरे
Jai.
कृष्ण प्रभुपाद की जय हैप्पी राधाष्टमी टू एवरीवन हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.